Hello and welcome YouTube. This is TSR Emperor Dion and Emperor of the 409, bringing you a very special presentation here. So, in today's presentation, we're going to discuss common fallacies that players often make. Today's fallacy is going to be what I call light infantry dependence. So, light infantry in Napoleon Total War are some of the easiest units to use in the game because they have the longest range aside from rifles, but I'd include rifles as being part of this fallacy too because units with longer range are inherently easier to use in a game that's based around shooting, obviously. So many players will focus on the survival of their light infantry and their rifles at the detriment of their other units. They will prioritize the health of these units, often at the detriment of the rest of their army. And it's easy to fall into this trap of relying on your light infantry as the main method through which you deal damage. But what most players don't realize until they become better is that it's not light infantry that are actually going to win you games. Most of the time, games are won by light infantry seizing the day and supported by cavalry most of the time. Now, light infantry, they do a fair amount of damage. It's easy to do a lot of damage with light infantry due to their long range and their accuracy. And their shooting stats also tend to be better than light infantry in a purely shooting match. Light infantry are pretty good, and again, they're easy to use. And so a lot of players fall into this fallacy where they get comfortable sitting behind their light infantry just shooting. The problem with that is that your light infantry don't do enough damage quick enough compared to what line and cavalry usage could do. So in this battle, I'm going to demonstrate why that's such a bad thing to fall into, why that's such a bad habit to fall into. And many players do fall into this habit. So, as you can see here, now I moved my militia to the center to kind of counteract his rifles. Many players fall into this fallacy of using their rifles, in particular in Napoleon Total War, which that's a topic in of itself why you shouldn't use rifles. But as long as I set up stakes here in the center with my Voltigeurs, I can just effectively sit there. He can shoot off nearly all of his ammunition against those stakes, and he won't do enough damage to justify it. So, now, what I've also noticed is that he's got light infantry over there exclusively on his other flank. To my right side and to his left side, he's got unsupported light infantry. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move these units up on the opposite side to cause a distraction. While that's going on, I've got militia moving over there to that side. So I'm going to cause a distraction over here, but I see he moves up a light infantry. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. So far, this player has been content to sit in this position and not do anything but try to use this light infantry. You see contact right there. He uses light to shoot at my Voltigeurs. All I'm going to do is move a cavalry up here to challenge him. So, bam, right there. I shot him with the Chasseurs de Cheval. He did not respond fast enough, so as a result, I went ahead and charged him in a full-fledged charge. And then, now he starts to run his light infantry back, so I bring back the Chasseurs de Cheval so that he cannot do significant damage. I got away from that engagement without any significant damage done to me. And so he moved up his cavalry. This is a topic in of itself to discuss in another video, but he moved his cavalry recklessly, suicidally against stakes, which that's going to just fizzle out without me even needing to shoot it. And he moves his light infantry in again to try and again, light infantry dependent. So he's got all of his other units behind him not doing anything while he's trying to move up exclusively with his light infantry. So all that's going to cause me to do is see this opportunity where his light is now unsupported. I'm going to move up, just take out that light infantry extremely quickly. He's not going to be able to react. And it's literally just because, again, light infantry dependence, so his other units were out of order. I can exploit that situation. Now I'm going to go and charge his rifle over there that's also unsupported. And also, I'm going to get an opportunity to shoot his square light infantry with no threat of retaliation as a result. So, I've already taken out effectively 2 units here and opened up a huge strategic vulnerability in this player. So now I'm going to go over to this side where I sent that militia over. I'm going to continue to move it over and continue to do things in the center here to further cause a distraction. That's a setup for the inevitable attack that I'm going to do. Now, it's one thing to suffer from light infantry dependence like this player does. It's another thing entirely when you do it and you don't even support your light infantry correctly, and you're about to see me punish that in a very harsh way. But for now, I'm going to continue to cause distractions on the other sides of the army. Okay, now I see my militia is now in position, so here we go. I'm going to push the attack. His light infantry are going to shoot my militia primarily. He's not going to do any significant damage on my other units, which are going to be the ones that take him out ultimately. I'm moving units in to secure the attack. I'm committing to it. I'm sending my cavalry up forward. He's going to try to counterattack with his own cavalry. You'll see here in a second. Contact. He tried to shoot. He actually ended up shooting my militia just like I expected him to. So he's sending his cavalry to counter me here. I'm going to send my cavalry in to basically charge his in the back where he tried to charge one of mine. So I'm going to get his light infantry and his cavalry basically for free. There he goes. His cavalry routed. His light infantry routed. His other units are swarmed. His one line that he has nearby has to square because he's completely outmatched very, very quickly because he did not have a proper defense set up to counteract what I'm doing here. My old guards are also instilling fear in him to where his units are going to route faster. He's basically outmaneuvered here in the center because he's opened up his rifles right there in the center too to where I could countercharge him there. I'm going to finish off that cavalry right there. I'm going to have the opening to move my entire flank in on his center, which you see I'm doing here now. He sees this cavalry charge right here uncontested by him. He can do nothing about it. And where is it? Where is it? It's coming. There it goes. Rage quit. Rage quit. GG. That is why you don't rely on your light infantry to carry the game. He did not know what to do. He was in a situation where he was now trapped. And all light infantry does is it opens you up. It creates vulnerabilities to where I can use that as a vector of attack. That's all I did, basically. Now, this player wasn't anyone special. This is a random player. But you see, this is a good demonstration of how relying on your light infantry can open you up due to the simple fact that your light infantry is a vector of attack through which I can come at you through because light infantry can't square. So that is why you should focus more on your other units. Light infantry are a good tool, but you should really focus in on your lines and your cavalry being the main things that win you the game.